So what's the news, Jake? 'Cause I haven't seen it yet. You saw it.
Yeah, I just saw that Jeff Duncan had it where Tyron is back with the Saints.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, dude. There we go. Okay. Crisis averted. All is well that ends well. Also a nice little win for Jeff there as, he said he expected Tyron back on Monday. A lot of people were giving a ton of crap. He's back on Wednesday. So that is excellent news for the New Orleans Saints and for LSU fans who have so desperately wanted to see Tyron Matthew on their favorite team for so many years. All right, we'll get back to Saints camp. But first, okay, admittedly, I don't think this is a good title for this. I said deep sea fining. I was going for like a dolphin thing, maybe like a deep sea fishing thing where you're going after big fish. The point of all of this, we now have confirmation that one of the wildest sports stories of the year is absolutely true. And one of the wildest sports stories that nobody talked about, and we can get into why, or maybe not nobody, but ESPN mainly, right? And we can get into the reasons why that is. I have my theories, but remember we talked about Stephen Ross's insanely ambitious play for Tom Brady and Sean Payton, right? Gonna make Tom Brady part owner of the team, making him an executive of the team, give Sean Payton over $20 million a year. Guess what? It's all true. All of it. Like Han says in The Force Awakens. The NFL, and this is pretty wild, and look, you could make this into a conversation about how this punishment stacks up against something like Deshaun Watson, and that's a different conversation, one I'd be willing to have, but let's just focus on this for now. NFL has suspended Stephen Ross, an owner, Jake. And like Roger Goodell's entire job is essentially to protect the owners, right? And the owners never want to go after one another, right? And so this is why this is so crazy. Stephen Ross has been suspended through October 17th. He's been fined $1.5 million. And maybe most impactfully, they're losing their 2023 first-round pick and their 2024 third-round pick. And again, the punishment is pretty wild, and it shows you how serious what Ross did was. But to me, the crazy thing is that it's all true. Everything that was rumored or said to be conspiracy. Here is the quote from Roger Goodell. Quote, "The investigators found tampering violations of unprecedented scope and severity. I know of no prior instance of a team violating the prohibition on tampering with both a head coach and star player to the potential detriment of multiple other clubs over a period of several years. Similarly, I know of no prior instance in which ownership was so directly involved in the violations." It's all true. That's why Tom Brady's fake retirement video only thanked the Bucs. This was never about actually retiring. It was just about getting out, saying goodbye to the Bucs, and going to the Dolphins. Goodell goes on to say that the tampering, quote, took place over a period of years. It also makes sense. If you're talking about making a player, an owner, an executive, something that's never been done before, that is not a quick conversation to have. That takes place over a while as you lay the groundwork. We'll get to Sean Payton in a second. Before we get to Payton, Jake, what is your reaction to hearing that all of this conspiracy is actually now confirmed as true?
I mean, it's all wild. Even when we were talking about it being a conspiracy, we were still like, man, there's no way. Like, this feels like something that's made up that you try to put in a movie that we wouldn't believe if it was in a movie. And we've never had anything like this, so it's even hard to compare it to anything.
Yeah.
Like where a star player, and a star player who's about to be 45 years old, is trying to be enticed to your team through ownership and through having, like, really a stake in the company. Like, we just never seen anything like this.
No.
And then, like, the Sean Payton portion of it, maybe we have a little bit. We have seen teams try to go after a head coach. It certainly is under a contract. But the Tom Brady portion of this, to me, is even more fascinating than Sean Payton. Like, we care about the Sean Payton because we're here in Louisiana,
yes,
maybe more. But
that's
the
fair.
Tom Brady portion of this, to me, like, that's never happened before. And again, like, going back, like, what he has left in his career, they still wanted to go all in and have him be a part of the organization.
You're absolutely right. In terms of sports in general, the NFL in general, the Brady story is the far bigger one, because in the player empowerment age, we have still never seen an active player reach the heights that were being offered to Tom Brady. I mean, actual ownership, being an executive. Yeah, nobody.
Jordan, LeBron, I mean, you could throw any, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, and LeBron is really the driving force behind this player empowerment era where guys can say, wait, you know what? No, we are the talent and we get to start to make some of these decisions. But again, not even LeBron, although you could say that, he kind of does run teams. It looks like in a lot of ways. He never had an offer like this with him. Not at 45 years old either, which is maybe the most insane part about all this, to show you how good Tom Brady still is. So I agree, like sports in general, the impact that a move like that could have had for future contract negotiations, the fact that there will be some great that will try to emulate that, though I don't know how you get your resume to the Tom Brady standpoint.
Yeah, Tom Brady, 45 today.
Yeah. Oh, so it is his birthday.
It is his birthday. You're asking because he was on Get Up, and they're having the top 12 TB12 moments. It is his birthday. He turns 45 years old. Are you surprised that Tom Brady didn't get maybe anything here?
No.
Just because he was under contract with another team, and tampering obviously goes multiple ways.
I guess that would be my question. Does tampering go both ways? If you're the one being wooed?
Again, like, it's just not something
I mean,
we
I know
really
he's
have.
talking back, but I'm wondering, like, under the NFL rule
Right.
set, if it's tampering. Like, if someone calls me, I'm just like, well, I mean, what? I wasn't going to be rude. I wasn't going to hang up on him.
You're not even you're not even supposed to talk to a team until a certain period, like a team that's not the team you're under contract with.
Well, I can't speak to that. I don't know, because I don't know the rules.
That's how it was when I was a free agent.
I'm not so surprised maybe that Tom Brady hasn't gotten in trouble here because, I mean, A, I don't know if they want to, and B, I think, whatever. I think it'd be tough to pin it on him when he could just simply say, like I said, like, look, man, I don't know. They were talking to me, right? They were talking to my agent. I wasn't even, like, involved. They were talking to Don Yee. What makes me mad, potentially, in all of this, and Danny and Mario, y'all are the main resident Houdettes here, and so I'd pick your brain as well, is this kind of taints Sean Payton's retirement to me a bit, in that these conversations took place in January. The key point there is that was before Sean Payton had announced his intent to retire. And while Payton has denied that he himself had any discussions, I don't believe that he ever denied that his camp did. And I'm also not sure that he ever said he knew nothing about it. And whether or not I'm being fair to him, it's kind of impossible for me to avoid that, like I said, that tainting of some of the emotion in that Sean Payton press conference, where it was emotional, right? He talked about being tired, needing a break, grinding in the same place for 16 years and walking away, and how much it was going to hurt him, but he needed something new, and he didn't know what was next. That was the entire theme. I wrote that entire stupid Bob Dylan parody called Don't Know What's Next, It's All Right, and it sounds like he may have known exactly what was next. And it was South Beach making $20 million a year with Tom Brady as your quarterback. It just taints, it just makes it seem all a little insincere. Am I being overreactive or overly emotional here, boys?
I don't think you are. No. I mean, at least I guess the Saints were already eliminated when that happened, not making the playoffs in January. But yeah, that's bad. At this point, just give us a draft picks already. Sean Payton is going to be coaching another team. I don't know if it's going to be the Dolphins. I don't know if it's going to be the Cowboys, but this was never a retirement. I don't know if he didn't want to necessarily not coach in New Orleans anymore, but yeah, this was always going to happen.
Danny, what about you? Are you changed on Sean Payton at all today?
No, it definitely taints his retirement.
Yeah.
He's it's not a good look at all. Leaving, quitting on your team, quitting on the city. But that being said, I'll never forget what he did for the Saints after Katrina. But
that is true. I have it written right here in the notes. Doesn't taint any of his greatness in New Orleans, but it does make the exit feel much more different.
Immediately, there's parallels to Nick Saban, and I'm uncomfortable, if we're being honest.
It's just one of those things where I really took it all at face value. And maybe I'm wrong here, but I took it all at face value when he said, and you know what? I mean, to be fair to him, a lot of that probably is true. Probably is tired. Probably did want a change of scenery, if nothing else.
Let me ask you all this as Saints fans. It always felt like, from someone on the outside, that Sean was trying to leave. Or like he at least like had a toe out the door. He was always looking. He was always maybe interested in going somewhere else. I don't know if y'all agree with that. Just from my perspective, being on the outside, it looked like he was always trying to maybe go somewhere that wasn't New Orleans.
Maybe so, but he never left, and he persevered through the 3, 7, and 9 seasons. Did a great job adapting, almost got them back to the Super Bowl, and you could be mad at that, but that's also just part of the business. And now that I think about it, it was just Don Yee that had tossed with the Dolphins in January, right? It wasn't Sean Payton
No, it wasn't Sean Payton directly.
Because they didn't grant permission.
No, he didn't lie. He didn't lie about that. No. But,
I guess you could argue Don Yee is also just doing his job. He's got to be.
They reached out illegally before asking permission. Conversations took place. Then afterwards, they tried to do it so they laid the groundwork tampering, and then they asked the Saints to talk to Sean Payton, and the Saints denied it, and they said no. But again, no, I do believe that Payton never had these conversations directly. You don't do plausible deniability is a thing, right? You don't do. Of course, Don Yee's the one having all these conversations with both Brady and Payton. You don't get your client in trouble. Like Jake, maybe that's the thing, right? Maybe if it was them talking directly, then they get in trouble with tampering. When it's Yee, maybe that's their kind of meat shield to absorb the hit. I don't know that I ever thought that Payton wanted to leave. I think. Look, I do think Dallas was always tempting for him.
The media, I feel like the media always wanted him in Dallas. They always push that narrative.
But I also think, as we know, we have plenty of friends in the media. If there's that much smoke, sometimes there's some truth to it.
Yes, I think Dallas wanted him. I think he wanted Dallas too at times. And I think that also, though, it served a dual benefit of when he would do these things, it would up his own price, right?
Yeah.
He was in the middle of a bunch of 7 and 9 seasons and got a raise to $9 million a year. And that's because there's a market for him. He was one.
Now, as we know, I know this, in this conversation doesn't really matter, but the agent, if you do talk to players, owners, coaches, whatever, when it's not the allowed time to do so, and you have tampering with your name, they can kick you out of the NFL.
Oh. Well,
a different sort of circumstances, but one of my agents is no longer able to be an agent in the NFL. One of our guys was CAA. He did some things that weren't allowed, and he's no longer allowed to, represent NFL players, coaches, anybody.
That makes sense. I wonder two things. I wonder if Don Yee's kind of almost not too big to fail, but
this guy was as big.
Oh, he was as big as Yee.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, it was with CAA. He had everybody.
Well, maybe it was. I'm trying to think about what the explanation. It seems like they're coming after Ross more than anyone. Like for whatever reason, the NFL does not seem to be worried about those who are being courted. It's about who's doing the courting. And the other reason is the third part of this is that he was found guilty of incentivizing losing. He was not found guilty of the direct $100K offer that Brian Flores had said, even though it said that he said it. They know that he said it. They confirmed that he said it. The report said that it was said in jest. People couldn't agree on the timing of it or the kind of nature of it. I kind of think we all know how passive-aggressive jokes work, where you're joking, but you're not really joking. So, and that's basically what Flores said in his response. He was like, look, I get it. I'm glad they found him guilty, but it's kind of BS that they let him off the hook for that comment. He's an owner. He knows what weight his words carry.
Right.
But yeah, they found him guilty of telling Flores to value draft positioning over winning and losing. And so it's a bad look.
Hey, if they value the draft, they're about to lose a first-round pick. And I don't know what the Dolphins are going to be. Obviously, they made a lot of moves, but it's a great quarterback class as well. If Tua doesn't work out, you ain't getting a quarterback next year unless you trade something to get back in the first round. And I wonder, I don't know this, but I wonder if the NFL's like, hey, no, you can't trade back in the first round. You will not select in the first round.
But we did see the
65-yard again. All four quarterbacks over there that are reporting today to LSU camp could have made that throw. That is not something that we should be sitting here oohing and ahhing. Yeah, it was a good throw. He's an NFL quarterback. Yeah. He was the number 5 overall pick. Hell, if he can't make that throw, what are we doing?
TNT. Tua and Tyreek. Get ready, baby.
We'll see.
Eminem. Mike McDaniel.
Yeah. Anymore?
South Beach.
That's SB.
Yeah. Super Bowl. Do the math,
there we
Jake,
go.
okay?
Yep.
Either way, though, Stephen Ross, he ain't going to be there for those first 6 games to watch the old TNT connection and see if they can make that practice video.
That doesn't,
a game day reality. Yeah, right.
What's that matter? He's going to watch from a billion-dollar yacht or something.
I was going to say, he'll be with Daniel Snyder on the Amalfi Coast, chilling on the yacht, watching the video, clinking their glasses, trying to text all their other NFL oligarchical buddies and be like, we got to get Roger out of here. Roger's out of control. Get the hell out of here. Stephen Ross, you bum. And Sean Payton, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I wish I'd never made you that popular. All right. When we get back, let's talk a little Saints camp. It is LSU Camp Report Day. We'll get that as well. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.